Breaking news. Yes, my friends, I am sad about the game against the Cleveland Browns. It was tough, but we need to carefully analyze where we made the most mistakes. If you believe that we will turn things around and make it to the Super Bowl, hit the like button. And if possible, write objectively here in the comments, where we can improve for the next game against the Denver Broncos. Now, I want to address some very important points with you about what really happened on the field last Sunday and what this means for the team going forward. I will start by talking about the Ravens defense, especially the secondary. We didn't see Marcus Williams on the field, which was surprising. Considering that Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins were already out, the Ravens really felt the pressure on their secondary. Benching a renowned player like Williams, even on a tough day, it takes courage. Despite the absences, the defense held firm in the first half, giving up only 6 points. The bend but don't break strategy was in full effect. But then, in the second half, things started to unravel. You could see the lack of pressure on Winston, who took advantage to put on one of his best performances. And while Kyle Hamilton showed some big moments, most notably forcing a key fumble just before halftime that led to a touchdown, there were still some dropped interceptions that could have changed the game. Eddie Jackson's performance was rough, dropping not one but several interception opportunities. That could have been game-changing. And let's be real, that's not on defensive coordinator Zach Orr. This year's defense has had its ups and downs, but you could see the effort to make adjustments. Now, about Orr's future. The Ravens aren't about to fire him. He's been with the Ravens for years, and with Dean Pease coming in, it's likely an internal call for Orr to step up. The Ravens respect loyalty, so don't expect any drastic changes here, even if some fans might want it. On offense, the Ravens managed to score 24 points, but it was clear that it wasn't their best day. Dropped passes? That's a killer. Nelson Aguilar's drop on third down, Rashad Bateman's open field drop. These moments add up. And let's talk about that potential game winner. Lamar Jackson was moving the ball down the field with less than a minute left. No timeouts, but they just ran out of time. The offense had flashes of brilliance, but it was one of those days where little mistakes kept them from closing it out. One bright spot? Isaiah. Likely. He stepped up in some big plays, especially when Lamar was under pressure, making those difficult catches and fighting for extra yards. You can see the chemistry building there, and that's exciting. But one thing we didn't see much of was Derrick Henry. He's a force, and the Ravens need to figure out how to integrate him more into the offense. The run game was solid against Cleveland, with Nick Chubb and Deion Jackson combining for a decent performance, but it was clear they missed some explosive plays. Special teams had their own ups and downs, too. Justin Tucker, usually automatic from 50 yards, missed, and that was a gut punch. Meanwhile, the Browns kicker hit a lucky bounce off the crossbar. When that happens, you start to feel like the universe might not be on your side that day. Jordan Stout had some solid punts, but the field position game was tough to win. And yes, Tylan Wallace fair catching the ball at the 5-yard line, we'll chalk that up as a lesson learned.
Looking at the bigger picture, Ravens fans, this game isn't the end of the world. Yes, this team has now lost 3 close games: Chiefs, Raiders, and now the Browns. All one-score games, all right down to the wire. But remember, they're not getting blown out. They're losing games they're in until the final minutes. That tells us they're still contenders. These issues we're seeing, drops, lack of edge rush, figuring out the defensive play calling, these are fixable. This Ravens team has the pieces, but it's about putting them together consistently. So now we're at the point where I want to hear from you. What do you think needs to change? Are you confident in the defense getting it together with Zach Orr? Or do you think we need to make a big move to add a veteran edge rusher? And what about the offense? Should Derrick Henry be more involved? Comment below with your thoughts, and let's talk Ravens football. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's keep cheering for our Ravens. It's hard to deny that last season, our defense was, well, legendary. Finishing the 2023 season with the top defense for points allowed per game, 16.5, leading the league in sacks, 60, and takeaways, 31, speaks for itself. Those numbers are rare, but in the NFL, maintaining that level of dominance is no walk in the park, even if nothing changes in the offseason. Since 2018, only a handful of teams, the Buccaneers, Bills, Steelers, and Cowboys, have managed to repeat such numbers across any defensive metric. And this year, we're seeing just how challenging it is for our Ravens. So let's get real for a second. There are multiple reasons why the Ravens defense isn't measuring up to its sky-high standards. Our pass defense? Not living up to expectations. The pressure? It's there, but hasn't been able to convert into big plays. Then there are those communication lapses leading to significant gains, or worse, touchdowns for the opposing side. And that's not even touching on third down situations. Our defense currently ranks third worst in the league for allowing conversions at a whopping 46.7%. Whether it's about being in the wrong spot or just missing critical plays, you can name countless areas where we're falling short. But here's the kicker. Ravens flock. It all leads back to one name. Dennard Wilson. Losing him has arguably been the biggest hit of the offseason for our Ravens. Wilson's impact on the field goes beyond just stats. He's known for transforming good players into great ones, and great players into some of the league's best. It's all about elevating potential, and his track record proves it. Let's take it back a few years. Wilson was with the Jets from 2017 to 2020, where he helped turn Jamal Adams into a defensive force, earning 3 Pro Bowl nods and a first-team All-Pro honor. Marcus May also saw his game evolve under Wilson's watch. Then Wilson joined the Eagles in 2021, and the results spoke volumes. Darius Slay regained his Pro Bowl form, while the Eagles' pass defense in 2022 ranked at the top of the NFL. They were third in opposing quarterback rating, 81.6, and fourth in takeaways with 17 interceptions and 10 fumble recoveries. Slay made the Pro Bowl both years under Wilson, and James Bradbury made second-team All-Pro. But when Wilson didn't get the Eagles' defensive coordinator spot, he found his new home with us, the Ravens, and immediately started working his magic. Remember 2023? Wilson came in and took Kyle Hamilton, our promising young talent, and honed him into arguably the best safety in the NFL, earning first-team All-Pro honors. The Ravens' defense was firing on all cylinders that year. And it wasn't just about individual players. Wilson's influence helped shape one of the most formidable defenses in the league. But his absence this year is as significant as his presence was last year. The proof is undeniable. Check this out. When the Jets lost Wilson in 2021, they tumbled to the worst pass defense in the NFL. Last year, the Eagles dropped to the second worst pass defense after he left. And now, with Wilson off to the Tennessee Titans, he's working his magic there. In just 8 games, he's helped turn the Titans' pass defense into the league's best, allowing only 151.6 yards per game. Compare that to our Ravens, who are giving up nearly double, at 291.4 yards per game. That's a painful reminder of what we lost. Now, let's open it up to you, Ravens flock. What do you think? Is Wilson's absence the key factor here? Could we see the Ravens' defense bounce back with some adjustments, or are we feeling his loss too much? Drop your thoughts below. Your take on this could shed some light on what's missing. Let's hear it. This season, the Ravens are on a mission to prove the doubters wrong and make it all the way to the Super Bowl. We've had our challenges, but the heart, talent, and determination on this team are undeniable. With Lamar Jackson leading the charge, every game is another step toward greatness. The Ravens have the grit to overcome any setback, and the fans believe it too. Let's rally behind our team and show everyone what Baltimore is made of. Let's go, Ravens. Let's go, Lamar Jackson.